Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail, and the Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue, which is located in Westfield. Thank you for coming on today, Patty.
You're welcome.
Some of you probably don't, but Patty is married to the man that was the dentist that we went to for about 30 years until he retired, Dr. Steve Stratton. And other things that you have done, Patty, is you owned a restaurant for quite a number of years.
30 years.
30 years, was it? Over in Westfield, CJ's.
Yep.
You specialized in pizza?
And pretty much had a full-service restaurant and catering business.
Okay. And eventually you sold it.
Come here.
You and Steve are with the Westfield Mayville Rotary. I'm not even sure what that is.
Rotary?
The Rotary.
Rotary isn't, that's a whole topic there, right there. Rotary is an international organization, a service organization. Rotary they do a lot of local, basically Rotary just does good deeds everywhere.
I know you get your pictures in the paper a lot.
Well, yeah,
picking up trash.
Right. We do up in Mayville on the hill. We do the Adopt a Highway. We've built, bought material and built tent platforms for Camp MERS. This is on a local level. If you're ever in the Westfield Hospital, if you go in the elevator was donated by Rotary. Rotary has been a real supporter of the Westfield Memorial Hospital. On a global scale, Rotary International basically spearheaded the Polio Plus campaign to eradicate polio in the entire world, and I think we're pretty close to having completed that goal. The World Health Organization, no, she's going to leave. Yeah. The World Health Organization has...
I think it's time to introduce Patty's
my reluctant
friend that came with her from the Canine Rescue.
That's a girl, good girl. Yeah.
She has her own idea about what she wants to be doing.
She's like, I'm tired of talking about Rotary. Talk about me. Look how cute I am.
Okay, this little girl's name is Heaven.
Right.
And now you've had one of those DNA tests done on her.
I did for her just because I wanted to know for sure, because a lot of times people are afraid of pit bulls, and I thought
Terrier is the same as pit bull, or
there's like a couple different breeds that they call pit bulls.
Oh, okay.
But she is like and I mean, there were just kids all over the place, babies in mom's arms, all the way up to like 12-year-olds. We took 4 dogs. She was one of them. All the dogs were so well behaved, and she loves everybody. She's a real people dog. And she likes other dogs. We pair her up with other dogs at the shelter, and she plays out in the yard real nice with them. So, and she likes me.
Well, you said she was your favorite. How old is she then?
She's about 6 years old, and we got her in last May. She was pregnant, and she didn't want anybody coming near the puppies, so she was very protective. It took her about 4 weeks to get over that, and little by little she started to trust us, and a lot of dogs, after a couple of weeks, they don't even want to nurse them anymore, and they're just, bite them and get away from me. And after they, you'd think she had 10 puppies.
Wow.
And when
that's a big litter.
When the first 3 got adopted, you'd think, oh, she's not even going to know that. She was depressed and she wouldn't eat for a day after the first 3 were taken from her. And then, and it took a couple weeks for them to all be picked up by their adopters. But then we found some friends for her to play with, and she's pretty well adjusted at the shelter.
Okay, so she's been spayed, and she's up to date on all of her vaccinations,
up to date on shots,
and ready for her forever home.
Yes, she is.
She's a very beautiful color, kind of a grayish brownish color. It's really a pretty color.
They call it, I guess, a silver pit.
Silver pit?
She's silver. She and I have the same color hair.
You match. Okay. Let's see. Now, you had a dog that lived at the shelter for 3 years, and last year when Ann Molk was here, she mentioned that that dog probably would never get adopted because she was sort of like feral, you know,
right.
and probably would spend her entire life living at the shelter.
We all thought that she would just be a resident, and you know, she was pretty comfortable there. She had her kennel. She knew where her kennel was, and you know, she knew the schedule. And but then and there were people that were interested, and they would come and spend some time with her, but you know, nothing was working out, and she had a real fear of getting into a vehicle. So even that was like, you know, if you're going to take her home, and she'd be hard to catch, like out in a yard. But fortunately, a woman from Cleveland, Ohio, who is a veterinarian and also has like part of her practice is a mobile veterinary practice. So Sammy, that's the dog, will she will never have to get in the car and go to the vet, because the vet, she's living with a vet. And there were some pictures the other day on our Facebook page of Sammy in the woman's house. Now she's in the house, and she has another coonhound
to hang around
with, and they were both like sleeping on the couch together. So Sammy has finally found her forever home, and is, you know, adjusting to living in a house and being with, you know, a person. So it's we're all pretty happy about that.
I'm glad that worked out. Apparently,
where are you going?
The Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue is a no-kill shelter, apparently, right?
Right.
And I think probably a lot of the Chautauqua County area shelters are no-kill shelters, but in other states they still have them.
Right.
So
well, we're lucky that, you know, we're in a small. Heaven, where are you going? Come here. You gonna stay there, or you want to stay on the rug? Okay. You know, being in our small community, and you know, we don't take in more dogs than we can handle.
Right.
But we do take a lot of dogs from overcrowded shelters, so that they do get another chance. You know, and Marcia works with other shelters out of state. I think West Virginia, Ohio. Hey, where are you going? Come here. Come here. Come here. You want treats? Look.
She wants to do what she wants to do.
I know, she does want to do that. So, you know, usually this time of day she's in her kennel taking a nap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, they get up in the morning and they go outside, and then they come in and have breakfast, then they go for a walk. So she's done all that. Now it's nap time, but you know, she's a little confused.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so where was I? Okay, so Marcia works with other shelters out of state, the kill shelters, the overcrowded, and almost once a week we'll get a couple dogs in from one of those places where the people there felt like this is a really adoptable dog, and you know, so we bring them into our shelter and advertise them and make sure that, you know, they all get up to date on shots, spayed or neutered if necessary, microchipped before they go home with the new people. And Marcia also, I don't have anything to do with the adoption process, but they work really hard to make sure it's a good match for the people before they. Oh, you want to come up and sit on me?
Well, I know that Ann Molk adopted,
right.
And she'd been asked to foster it.
Yeah.
Until there was room for her in the shelter. And so Ann took her home, and turned out to be just the perfect dog, you know, her behavior.
Yeah.
She was good when Ann had Thanksgiving dinner for family members, and the dog was very, you know, docile at the veterinarian's office and so forth. So that was when she realized she had to adopt the dog. Was because
Yeah, that does happen. 'Cause a lot of the volunteers have a foster failure, so end up keeping it.
yeah. So anyways,
But then you'd like to have a dog, but you don't have maybe space, or you don't want to have that long-term commitment or financial commitment. Heaven, come on up. You might have the dog for a couple weeks, sometimes longer, but then say you have to go on a trip, you just bring it back to the shelter and then somebody else can take it and foster it, or we'll find room. A lot of times we do that with some little dogs, like we get little Chihuahuas and Shih Tzus and the little tiny ones. They don't do that well in a shelter because it's so noisy.
She's like,
Come on. No, you can't explore. You have to stay here. You have to stay with me. So that is something that, if people want to be help the shelter, that is one way that they can help. And we do have a lot of volunteers that also will foster. And then, again, you have the foster failures where they bring the dog home and then they just decide to keep
stay
it.
there.
Yeah.
They wind up staying there
just
because
keep it,
they're too perfect for the person that they're with. Yeah. So now you have
Look what I have.
you have events throughout the year.
Yes, we do.
Is it every third Saturday of the month that you have an open house?
Yeah, every third Saturday of the month we have an open house. We also do, usually, not always, but often on those same, on the open house days, we'll have a volunteer training. So if somebody wants to be a volunteer, if they're 18 years old, you can fill out the application, and then we'll do a volunteer training on a Saturday morning. And then you learn all about,
You can come on the set if you want to, Emerald.
the jobs that we do there, like and just do laundry or clerical work. They love dogs, but maybe physically they can't, walk up and down that Gail Street, taking them for walks, and so they come in and do laundry, or to wash the dog's dishes, or maybe just even sit in a kennel, take a little stool and go sit in the kennel with a dog and just, pet it or brush it, spend some time with it. So, I mean, there's really a job for everyone.
Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue is?
Got to get her back over here. It's on Gail Street, North Gail Street. Come on down. And let's see, I mean, if you're on Route 20 on the west side of town, there's North Gail and South Gail, so you just head down North Gail, you go over the railroad tracks, and it's on the right-hand side of the street. There is a sign out there.
Okay.
There's a parking lot. We have a new parking lot last year. We acquired some extra property that's next door to the shelter.
Okay. And then visiting hours are from 1 to 3 every afternoon, right?
Monday through Saturday, 1 to 3. Sunday, there are no visiting hours, but you can make an appointment. So if none of those times work for you because of your work schedule or whatever, I mean, you can call, make an appointment if you want to meet a specific dog, or or you want to do a meet and greet with your own dog. We'll let people bring their resident dog down to meet with someone to see if they would get along.
Well, it's kind of nice what the animal shelters are doing these days, because they actually do kind of a miniature background check on people who are interested in adopting an animal.
Right.
You have to name a veterinarian that's familiar with you, and a bunch of other things.
Right.
But anyways, they want to know that you're good with animals and so forth. And Emerald wanted to know how old you had to be to volunteer then, and you told her 18.
Right.
And that made her real happy, because she said that she's going to be turning 18 next month. So then, so that'll make it possible for Emerald to start volunteering.
We look forward to having you.
So that'll be really nice. Are you a senior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Graduate in June.
Okay. and then she's going to go to college.
Right.
So
Well, go to college nearby so you can still come down and help.
yeah.
It'll only be an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, well, that's kind of far, but you can come on. We have volunteers that, you know, when they have a break from college, they will come down every Saturday morning and while they're on break and help out.
So what college are you going to?
I'm going to Niagara County Community College.
Niagara County Community College. Okay. Now you have other events during the year too. One of them, are you going to be doing the golf?
I'm not sure if we're doing the golf this year, but probably our biggest fundraiser is the yard sale.
The yard sale.
And that is usually the last, it's the same weekend as the Westfield Arts and Crafts. It's the last weekend in July.
Yeah, that would be the last Friday and Saturday of July.
And
yeah, I try to get over to both of those things, the Arts and Crafts show. Usually I finally make my way. Usually there's a reason I can't do any of this on Friday. Fridays are not good, but I finally get over to Westfield on Saturday. I go to the Arts and Crafts show, and then it's usually the second half of the afternoon by the time I
things we don't take, which is important. Electronics, like old radios and computers and stuff like that. No mattresses, no clothing. There was one other thing. I did make some notes, but I don't know if I have that note with me.
Books.
But books, that's it.
That was kind of nice.
There's it takes up like a whole side yard and a tent, and there's really quite a
couple
bit
of at
something
least
for
one
everybody.
building.
And a new brick sidewalk from the office over to the new parking lot.
So
we have all the bricks, and you can have your brick engraved for $50 with either memory of a pet or in honor of a pet, or you know. So we've started doing that. And you can buy a brick for $50. That's on the website, or you can stop by the shelter and pick up the form you need for that. And then, you know, you can have your pet's name out there on the sidewalk. They're really pretty.
Yeah, they're doing something similar to that at the cemetery in Mayville. They're building something where you can buy a brick in memory of somebody, or somebody who went to school in Mayville or something.
Oh, that's nice.
Have it engraved. They're charging, I think, $75.
Well,
I think
you're not going to buy. I said, well, not all at once, but you know, a couple at a time. So I've got 3 on order, and we'll work our way. I started with the ones I had when I was a kid, and we're going to work our way up to current times.
He was worried you were going to spend all your retirement money.
Yeah, I'll spend my retirement money on bricks.
Bricks for the dogs.
So, another thing that we do is we send out a newsletter at Christmas time, and believe it or not, a lot of people, there's a little thing at the bottom, you know, if you want to make a donation, and people will just send us donations. We also take, it's on the website too, we take donations of goods, like some food, and you could look at the website for specific, you know, ideas. Paper towels, bleach, of course. I guess I've heard that bleach is hard to come by now because of the virus.
Oh,
somebody told me that.
I haven't
looked. Yeah,
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, so you might want to run to the store after this and.
Well, this morning on the radio, they were saying that people are going to the store and buying glacier-sized piles of toilet paper. For some reason. They want, in case they get stuck at home because they get quarantined, they want to make sure they don't run out of toilet paper. So, so anyway, that's what I heard about it. So anyways, that was pretty much of all of the dogs that are at the shelter, but I don't know that we got set up for that.
Well, I did make a little list of who we have there right now, and a little bit about each one. I could just go through it if you want me to.
Yeah, sure. That's a good idea.
Okay, so we have Phoebe. She's a Whippet Shepherd mix. It was an owner turnover. She's kind of a tall thin dog.
Whippet Shepherd, would that be like a German Shepherd?
Yeah, German Shepherd mixed with a Whippet.
With a Whippet,
So
okay.
She kind of looks like a Whippet and kind of looks like a German Shepherd, and she's...
Then.
Yeah.
I was just starting to think, well, you know, maybe, and then you go, but not if you have cats.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So, well, but we do have. Well, actually, some of them we're not sure how they go along with cats. But I guess for some reason we know that she can't be with cats.
Okay.
And then the next one can't be with cats. Copper. He's a big stray coonhound. Beautiful. If you like coonhounds, this guy is for you.
Was he there last summer?
He might have been.
Because I thought I remembered them referring to a dog named Copper when I was there for the yard sale.
He probably
last
was there.
summer.
He's been there for a while. He was Sammy's pal for a while, and now he plays with. He's one of Heaven's playmates in the yards. So,
But no
There he
cats.
is. There's the
No
picture.
cats. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so he's a big coonhound, and he walks nice on a leash, believe it or not. He likes most other dogs, and fenced yard preferred because
Is this Copper there
yeah, that's
too?
Copper. Yeah,
Okay.
he's beautiful. He's very soft.
And there too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's a nice guy.
Okay.
And but, you know, coonhounds, and maybe that's why he ended up with us. They have a tendency to wander when they get a scent somewhere. You know, he might have just who knows where he came from.
Yeah,
but he was
yeah.
a stray, and he was never claimed.
Okay.
So then we have Christy. She's a supposedly Chesapeake Bay cattle dog blue heeler mix.
Wow.
She's about a year old. She was at a breeder's, and she got too old, you know, once they get past the puppy stage, and then they can't sell them, or, you know.
Is that?
That's, yeah, isn't she cute?
Yeah.
That's Christy. Loves to play ball, lots of energy. She does walk nice on a leash after you get her on the leash. She's kind of...
Is that a
just
snowball in her mouth?
I think it's a tennis ball covered in snow, but
okay.
she loves to play ball. She's super... And she came in with her sister, Agatha, and Agatha's been adopted.
Oh.
And I saw pictures recently of Agatha in her new home, and she settled, and she was just as wild and crazy as Christy. We call her Crazy Christy.
Okay, so how old is Christy?
She's about a year old.
About a year old.
She's
Okay.
still got a lot of puppy energy.
Yeah.
And, but she's but her sister settled right down and is with a family that has children, and she's doing real well in her new place.
Good.
And we have Arthur. And Arthur's been here, I think he's been there over a year. He came in, I think he was a stray somewhere else, but he ended up at our shelter. But he's a big guy. And
he's wearing a T-shirt.
About a year old. We got him when he was kind of a puppy still, and then some people took him, and he just got to be too much, or, you know, they weren't doing well on the training or whatever. And they brought him back.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But he's a
never calm down, even when they get.
No, but you see him you'll see him in his kennel, and he likes to take a nap. He leans against to be petted and everything. Like he can settle down with a person as well. But when he's with other dogs, he likes to play. So then I think next on my list was Heaven, but we've talked about her.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Reese, who I don't know a lot about, other than Reese is up at Dana Baker's. What's the name of that place? Creekside Boarding. Dana helps us out sometimes when we have too many dogs. She will provide some space for a few until we get space in our kennel. You know, we try to take as many from the overcrowded places as we can. Sometimes we've got some coming in, and the ones we thought were going to go out aren't leaving just yet. And she does help us out often with extra space. So Reese is a pit bull mix, and she was abandoned. I mean, some guy dropped her off and said, well, can you take care of her, and I'll come back and get her, and he never came back.
Yeah.
And, lost this phone, lose my number, and, change his phone number, whatever.
Yeah.
So Reese is still looking for a home.
I hear stories about people who do things like that.
I think the person just really...
Well, at least he didn't take her out and drop her off in the wilderness like some people do with cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Which is very unnice.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to... well, I don't even want to suggest it to people. So yeah, but anyway, she's in a good place now, but she is looking for a home. Then we have Samara. She is a puppy mill. You know, they probably used her for breeding.
Mm-hmm.
She's a work in progress. I don't think she's really available for adoption yet. She loves other dogs.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Super shy.
Oh my gosh.
With people. Like she
Oh,
really,
she
she won't
is
bite or.
beautiful.
Yeah, she's. So that was her playmate, Kino, but he got adopted. Now
So,
she's with,
is she several years old then?
They think she's. Let's see. Do I have that? I'm not sure. She's a few years old anyway, so she apparently aged out of being able to have puppies or breed,
yeah.
and they'll just dump them then. And you know, so it's sad because like, some of the puppy mill dogs we get in, I've seen this. They don't even know. You give them a dish of food and they don't know what to do. They've never eaten out of a dish. Some of these breeders just like throw the food on the floor. And so she's a really, wherever she was, they really did not socialize her with human beings, and she fears humans.
Oh, that's
but she's
too
getting
bad.
she's getting better. I mean, you know, you can go in and pet her, and
Yeah,
other
yeah,
people people are working with her to get her to trust. And,
one thing people need to know before they adopt a husky, and I know this because 2 of the dogs my husband and I have had have been like half husky, and you're going to have to brush them constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, they
because they shed constantly, even in the winter,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
So you really have to spend a lot of time. If you they are a good dog for somebody who likes to spend time brushing their dogs.
Well, that's one of the things that the volunteers will do is they'll go in and sit with her and brush her and try to, you know, like it's okay. Humans are not your enemy. But
She's really beautiful,
yeah,
though.
she really is beautiful.
I'll tell ya.
Okay, then I have Noelle. She's a long-haired German Shepherd dog. She's about 5 years old. She's very calm. She's one of the ones that went to the library and was swarmed by little kids.
Oh,
and
okay.
She, you know, was great with little kids.
She is really cute.
Yeah, she's a real nice dog. I
really,
think she
really
came
cute.
from a puppy mill situation, but she had apparently been socialized with human beings, so she likes people.
Oh, does she have unusually short legs, or is
No,
it?
I think it's because she has long hair,
Oh,
and so you're
okay.
seeing like the hair. Yeah. And
Okay,
She's a pretty dog.
that is a really pretty dog. Do you know how old she is?
Let's see. I have in my notes that she's 5 years old.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, then we have Sierra and Cassie. They came in the same time that. Where are you going, Heaven? Is it time for another treat? Come on back over here. Come on. Can you sit down? Can you sit? The same time as Noelle. They all came in together. 3 German Shepherds.
Who is this?
That one is Sierra.
Sierra.
And
Okay.
Cassie looks just like Sierra, pretty much. So,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
seen one, you've seen them all. I think that's still Sierra.
And she is a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sierra's in foster care, and she's like, yeah. So there she is in foster care,
Okay.
and then we have both Sierra and Cassie that came in with Noelle, 3 German Shepherds all at once. Sierra and Cassie were not well socialized, and so they are a little bit, you know, leery of humans. But Cassie's at the shelter, and I take her for walks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you wonder, is she really enjoying this, or does she just want to get away from me? But she walks real slow on the leash. She does walk nicely on the leash. So she would need some socialization. You know, it's going to take a while before they're really ready.
Noelle is more sociable.
Yeah,
than
Noelle
the other
is
2.
totally. She's ready to go.
Are they younger than her?
We think they're younger. We think Sierra's like 2 to 3 years old, and we think Cassie's like maybe a year or 2 old. No, you can't leave. You can't leave. Look, where'd your friend go?
Yeah, she left the room, didn't
She
she?
left.
Where did she
What?
go?
How could she do that? She's coming back. She's coming back. You got to come over here. Come on. Then we have Hank. Hank's a 3 to 4 year old male shepherd mix. He loves walks. He loves cuddling. But he's got digestive issues that he needs to be on special food. It's not like expensive veterinarian special food, but it is special food, a special diet. I'm not sure what it is. I just know when I feed him, this is Hank's bag of food, and you give this to him. And you really shouldn't give him.
And this is Hank.
Treats, yeah, other than the treats he's allowed to have, because when he came in, he had some problems, and we got him all fixed up. And then we're like, okay, he's good now. So people, and you get a lot of volunteers throughout the day.
And he's a mixture, mixed breed
he's a shepherd
dog.
mix, yeah. So if everybody's giving him a treat, and then pretty soon by the end of the day, who knows how many treats he's had and what kind of treats. So now he's on a strict no treat except for 55 pounds. Look at how adorable. He came from an overcrowded shelter, and he's very friendly, super friendly, but he walks nice on a leash. I've walked him. Where are you going? What? We can't leave yet. We're not finished. And he'll need some work on house training, and he's still got a lot of energy. He's even though he's 3 years old, he acts like a puppy. What?
Yeah, Hershey's a good name.
Come here, Heaven.
I pet sit for some Mayville area people when they have to go away and like that. And this one family that I pet sit for, one of the dogs that they presently have is a chocolate lab. And
okay, so then next we have Lily. She is not ready to go yet. I don't know if we have her picture. She's a Samoyed. She came in from a backyard breeder.
Oh, she's cute.
She's dealing with some health issues, so we're trying to get her, back on track and totally healthy. But she acts like you wouldn't know she wasn't, you wouldn't know she was having a problem. She's super sweet and house trained, and seems to be house trained. I mean, she came from a, like I said, a backyard breeder, but she will wait and wait and wait to go outside to go to the bathroom.
Oh, that's good.
And she goes out, and once she's gone, she wants to come right back in. So I think she likes to be inside.
How old is she then, or don't you know?
Let's see. Where do I have her? I did. Oh, Lily. I guess I don't have that information, so I'm not sure.
She's really cute.
Yeah, she is really cute. Well, when we got her in, she's a Samoyed, so she would have long hair all over, but we took her to the groomer because...
And got her trimmed? Was
she was
snarled
all matted and stinky and whatever, so she had to get fixed up that way. Then we have Boone. Are you going to chew on this? Boone was adopted when he was a puppy from us, and he lived with another dog, but the other dog was older, and Boone got to be really big. It's kind of hard to tell when they're puppies.
How big they're going to get to be.
How big they're going to get. And he got pretty big, and he really likes to play, and he got kind of too much play for the older dog in the home. And so they brought him back, and we're trying to find a more appropriate
home for
where he can have somebody that's more his size and energy level to play with. I use he walks pretty nice on a leash. I have the harness I have on Heaven. I have two leashes, but I have one is a harness that it pulls up behind their arms when they try to pull away, so she can't really get away.
Because I know some smart dogs will be able to pull out of just a collar by backing away from you.
So, but if I use this same, I'll use the same harness when I walk Boone, and then he walks real nice on the leash, and he doesn't pull. So, because I don't want to get pulled down Gail Street when it's icy. Also, Boone is house trained, and supposedly he is an English Setter Hound mix. So,
okay,
here we go, and I think. I think I covered everybody that's
there
in there right now. So the other thing we do.
There's somebody just showed up.
Oh yeah, her Bunny.
Bunny.
Bunny. Her name is Bunny, and she's a terrier mix. Oh, maybe I wrote it on the back.
Is she a small dog?
She's small. She's probably about 25, 30 pounds maybe. She's tall. I mean, she looks little there, but she's
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 bigger
just a
than
little
she.
shorter than Heaven, but you know, very slender and very. I mean, she can jump right up to my eye level. She loves to play ball. This morning when I got there, we really have like every kennel full, and so when I was putting the dogs out in the yard, and then there was another one there that I didn't know was going to be there. That was a surprise for me, and so I'm thinking, well, where am I going to put Bunny? So I took Bunny out to go potty, and then I just brought her back in, and she just ran around inside the shelter, got the run of the place while we cleaned everybody's kennel. So she had a good time running from kennel. And
Milo.
I think this one's Milo. There's Milo and Oakley. He's this guy's a Shih Tzu mix, I believe. Little, maybe like 10, 15 pounds. Super friendly. I forget about them because we have a puppy room in the back, and they're back there. They're not in the main kennel.
They're in the puppy room. Okay.
Then we have Oakley. It's a little Chihuahua, and Oakley and Milo are sharing a kennel right now, and they get along fantastic, and they love attention. And look how cute.
Okay.
Chihuahua mix. So he's about.
This is the
10
Chihuahua
pounds.
mix.
Yeah, I think that's Oakley.
Oakley.
It's Oakley
okay.
and Milo. Yeah. So now I think we're at the end. It's a lot. Then we had 2 strays there this morning that came in yesterday. One was a pit bull, and one's a Doberman.
Oh, really? A
Yeah.
Doberman. Are they both adult dogs?
Yeah, they're both adult dogs. So we're hoping that the pit bull, he looked really healthy and happy and was a nice dog, and I'm hoping he just got away from somebody, and he's going to be this one. We have another one. He found another one. That's Bonnie.
Bonnie?
Okay. I have to talk about Bobby. Bobby is a woman who retired and moved up here, I think, from maybe Tennessee, and it was her dream to take care of mother dogs and puppies. So she made a place at her house. So this is Bonnie, and Bonnie's with her. She only had 3 puppies. That's a good thing. And so she's down. Bonnie is staying, and her puppies are staying at Bobby's house down in Van Buren. And Bobby set up a puppy nursery, and she's got fenced yards and gravel out in her backyard, so she has places to take dogs out. And so now most of the time we don't have to have puppies at the shelter, which is great because, it's nice to have them away from all the noise and the hustle and bustle of all the other dogs. So Bobby takes care of mom dogs that are, that dog came in and she was pregnant. Oh, I forgot that one too. And, there's a lot of dogs there.
Yeah.
So anyway, the puppies and the mom dog, Bonnie, will be available for adoption, I think, sometime in April. Now that one is Piper. Piper, still a puppy. They think a Great Dane mix, maybe Great Dane Lab mix. And she came in about a week ago. So I took her for a walk the other day. Walks real nice on a leash, real sweet, real lovable, leans on you, wants to be petted. And now there's Sally. Now here's Sally. Okay, Sally is a Australian Shepherd mix. I read.
Look at that expression on. I love it when dogs get that expression on their face.
And I think she came from a puppy mill. So, she's done having puppies, and she's super sweet, kind of clingy. I go in there and she jumps up on me and doesn't want to let go. She's a very nice dog, and she is in with Samara, the husky. So they're friends right now.
Okay.
We always have a dog in there with Samara, so she has some. You can't go over there. You have to stay with me. Good girl. Okay, gotta stay here. Do you want some more water? There we go.
There she is drinking water.
All right.
I love the way it sounds when animals are drinking water. It seems so cute.
Yeah.
Well, as far as you know, we're through with the pictures.
Okay, I think so. Yeah, unless you got some more to, you're gonna surprise me with.
Unless we see another dog popping up on the screen.
Oh, and I was talking about the the stray
the
dog. So the
Doberman,
Doberman, unfortunately, is in kind of rough shape. Has a big lump on its side, and
Oh no, it could be
doesn't
a
seem
tumor.
very healthy. I mean, she looks okay, but she's probably older. She's kind of wobbly. Maybe she's just weak from being loose. And I took her out this morning. She's going to the vet. We're taking her to the vet on Monday, so I don't know, if they're actively looking for her owner or if, she's in rough shape. They just want to make sure she's healthy, So anyway, so she's there. And
Yeah.
usually the strays, if the stray dogs come in, I think after 5 days, hey, where are you going? You want to stay over there? Okay.
After 5 days?
After 5 days, they are our dog. If no one's claimed them, then they
Uh-huh.
become the property of the shelter, and then we start, making sure they're ready to get adopted and working on, if they need to be spayed or neutered and shots and microchipped. So, your dog. Call the dog control officer in your village, and we might have your dog at our shelter because we do get some. Oh, you want to be over there?
And call all of the, if they're not at the Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue, check with the other shelters
Right,
in the area.
right.
So,
Especially if your dog hasn't been microchipped and it doesn't have tags on its collar, or maybe it lost its collar and nobody came to look for them. So.
so if any of you out there are interested in a pit bull that is, you think 6 years old, you said?
Yeah.
This might be the one for you.
This chair's not big enough for you, is it? You need a couch. She'd really like a couch. There you go.
Yeah, we
Good
don't
girl.
have one of those here at the studio.
Good girl.
She is a pretty girl.
She likes to go for walks. She does have she's acquired a bad habit. Well, during her time at the shelter, she's really excited about cars when they whip by, and I think she would chase cars if she got off her leash.
Oh, okay. So,
But I don't know how when I leave here, I'm going to take her downtown and walk on a sidewalk where you have sidewalk and some space and then the road, and see if she's just as interested in cars down there. Initially, when she was at the shelter and I would walk her, she would not do that. But, the cars, there's no sidewalk down there, so we're just walking along the side of the road, and then she's acquired this habit of like, oh boy. And one day we were, the train was coming because there's a lot of trains down there, and she got really excited about the train. So I think if,
oh yeah. So a fenced-in yard would be nice.
a fenced-in yard would be nice. Or if you are going to take her for a walk, she does walk nice on a leash, but just be aware that she might want to, go after a car. So when I see the cars coming, well, she knows they're coming. She's always looking for them too. I just will stand still on the side of the road with her and just hold on to the leashes tight and just kind of it's okay, it's okay. You don't have to chase the car.
We had a dog many years ago.
Coming over?
He would chase people that were riding by our house on bicycles.
Oh, I'm sure she could do that too. We haven't tried her with bicycles, but hey, if anybody wants to ride the bicycle by the shelter, right?
Yeah. It seems like we don't know why but he got to where he would. He really didn't like people that were riding on bicycles. I don't know if somebody did something to him one time when they were riding by on a bicycle or what, but
I think sometimes they just want to make that thing stop,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, just catch it and hold on to, like when they chase a ball, go get the ball and make it stop.
Now, this isn't about dogs, but you told me a really interesting story about a bird that you rescued.
The bird rescue. I might get in trouble for this though, because I don't have a wildlife. You need to have a permit or a license to keep wild animals. But I didn't keep it. It was only temporary.
No, you were only nursing it back to health. Otherwise, it probably would have died.
It probably would have died. It would have froze to death. So do you want me to tell that story?
If you want to, but not if you don't want to.
Well, no, it's okay. I've already put it out there. You know, I don't have it anymore, so don't arrest me. But I was walking my dog one evening. It was in the winter, January.
Probably a lot of years ago, right?
Yes. Probably,
Okay.
Let's see, about maybe 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking my dog out to go for a walk, and it was dark, and we had snowbanks everywhere. It was very cold out. And my dog immediately pulled the leash over, like, to this side of the house. I'm like, well, what, you know, what's over there? So sitting in the snowbank right in front of my house was a mourning dove.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, why is this mourning dove sitting here in a snowbank? And then I looked closer, and it had blood on the back of its head. Put it into the crate, took it in the house, and thought, well, at least it won't freeze to death or get eaten by something. And, you know, most likely it'll be deceased in the morning when I come back to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So in the morning, I went in, and here's the bird hopping around inside the cat carrier. I was like, oh, well, good morning. You're still alive. Okay, so now we need to do something with you. So I went online and, like, okay, what do mourning doves eat? And then I found a woman in Florida who rescues and rehabilitates. So I called her. We had a nice long conversation, and so I went out and bought a great big cage and bought it just eats seeds, which is great, you know, bird feed, and gravel. And I brought it.
Gravel?
Yeah. Well, they have to have gravel in their gut for digestion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like if you ever had a parakeet, they eat gravel.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I've
well.
never had a pet bird.
No, I had parakeets when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
So we got her all set up. I didn't know if it was a male or female, but then I did some research, found out it was a male. I named her Claire, and
then found out it was a male.
no, it was that's why I named it Claire, because I figured that could be either
Oh, okay.
either way. So Claire lived in our house. What are you doing over there? And we had one of those bird clocks from LL Bean that would play the bird song on the hour, and so I used to go up and sit with her and read the paper, and I'd spin that clock around a few times and play the mourning dove coo, so she could feel like, you know, there's others nearby. And so then I had her till April, and then we were going to go on vacation. And I was concerned that she wouldn't be able to sit on a perch, because that was the other thing. Besides the blood on the back of their head, her feet the next day, you know, were starting to get like blisters. So I think she had a little frostbite. And the lady in Florida said, you can put Neosporin on her feet and on her head. So, you know, Steve would hold her, and I'd be dabbing the Neosporin on her feet and on the back of her head. And she lost, I guess it's her thumb. Like they have like these three and this.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking, well, maybe I'll have to apply for this license to be able to keep her. And then one day I came home, and she was sitting on the perch, because she had just been staying on the bottom of the cage, but I had perches in there for her. It was a great big parrot cage. And she did sit on the perch, so I'm like, yay, you know, she'll be able to land on a tree and, you know, get away from predators. And so right before we went on vacation, I took her out. I took her back to, they are territorial too, so I took her back, you know,
to where
I found her out in the yard. And I opened up the cage, and she was used to me handling her by this point, so I just had her, you know, she was standing on my hands like this. I'm just holding her like this, and I'm like, well, Claire, you know, it's up to you. If you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to go, you can go. And she kind of looked around, and then all of a sudden just like, and took off. So that was the end of...
That worked out really well.
It did.
Amazingly well, didn't it?
And, you know, actually for her being in captive over the winter, she was probably in a lot better shape than the other ones that had not left the area.
Right,
because she had food and water and... Heaven, come here. So anyway, now I look out my yard, and every time I see a mourning dove, I just assume that it's one of her offspring, or, you know, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren by now.
Yep. Okay, so heaven knows her name, that's her name then, right now?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know if her name was Heaven before we got her,
Probably not.
because she came from a, you know, somebody dumped her at a shelter and she was pregnant, and you know, they don't do real well. I was just introduced to her, this is Heaven, so.
Oh, okay.
But she must be used to it by now because we've had her for almost a year, so.
Oh, yeah, she probably is.
But I mean, people do change. Patsy, and I'm Patty, and this is my dog Patsy. So we changed her name to Minnie, and she seems happy. She knows her name's Minnie, so.
Yep, well, Heaven seems like a real cutie pie anyway.
She is. Well, she's definitely food motivated.
And I think our friend Emerald has been in heaven today because we had a dog on the program.
Right.
So, anyways, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
We've unfortunately come to the end of another episode
Wow,
of Fresh
that was
Perspectives. And I will see the rest of you in the viewing audience in a couple of weeks on the next episode.
And that's perfect because we just ran out of treats.
Yeah, yeah.